The training grounds of Velkara Station hummed with the discharge of plasma weapons and the barked orders of instructors from a dozen species. Drillmaster Kethros, a towering Vrokan with chitinous plates that gleamed like polished obsidian, surveyed the new recruits with 4 unblinking eyes. His gaze settled on the human. She stood barely 1.7 meters tall, her frame slight compared to the muscled bulk of the Thundar warriors, or the bio-augmented 6 commandos. Her name was Corporal Maya Chen, and she clutched her issued plasma rifle like it might escape at any moment. "Recruits!" Kethros's voice boomed across the range, translated instantaneously by the neural implants every coalition soldier received. "Today you learn the fundamental truth of modern warfare: energy management. Your weapon is only as good as its power supply." The recruits snapped to attention. Kethros paced before them, his clawed feet clicking against the metallic floor. "Each of you has been issued a standard coalition plasma rifle. Each rifle requires a power cell rated at 500 kilowatts. Without it, you have an expensive club." He gestured toward the equipment lockers. "You will familiarize yourself with cell replacement under combat conditions. Speed is survival." The drill began. One by one, recruits sprinted to their designated stations, ejected spent cells and slammed fresh ones into their weapons. The Thundar soldier completed the task in 8 seconds. The 6 in 7. Various species followed, their times recorded and announced. "Human, you're up." Maya jogged to her station, her heart hammering. She'd trained for months, worked harder than anyone to prove herself worthy of the Coalition Defense Force. Her fingers found the release mechanism. The spent cell clattered to the ground and she reached for the replacement. Empty. Her locker was empty. "Problem, Corporal?" Kethros loomed over her, his shadow engulfing her completely. "Sir, there's no power cell in my—" Did I stutter? "You need power cells." His mandibles clicked with irritation. A soldier adapts. A soldier overcomes. Find a solution or fail. Maya's mind raced. Around her, other recruits whispered, some with sympathy, others with barely concealed amusement. The human experiment. They called her species behind closed doors. Soft-worlders who'd barely discovered faster-than-light travel before stumbling into a galaxy at war. She looked down at her rifle. 500 kilowatts. That was the requirement. Her eyes drifted to the medical readout on her wrist display, the one that monitored her military-grade cardiovascular augmentation, standard issue for all human soldiers operating in variable gravity environments. The human heart, she remembered from her training lectures, generated approximately 1 to 1.5 watts of power continuously. But the augmentation, the synthetic weave of carbon nanotubes and bioconductive polymers that reinforced her cardiovascular system, stored excess bioelectrical energy. It was meant for emergency situations, to jumpstart a stopped heart or provide a surge during combat stress. Her display showed her reserves, 520 kilowatts stored. It was insane. It was dangerous. It would hurt like hell. Maya grinned. She pulled the diagnostic cable from her wrist unit, meant for medical emergencies and equipment interface, and traced the power requirements on her rifle's input port, standard coalition energy coupling. She could make it work. 30 seconds, Corporal. After that, you're dropped from the program. Her fingers moved with sudden certainty. She yanked the emergency bypass from her med kit, stripped the protective coating, and jerry-rigged a connection between her wrist unit and the rifle's power intake. The cable clicked into place. "Sir, permission to attempt an alternative power source?" Kethros's eyes narrowed. "Explain." "My augmentation can provide the necessary wattage, sir. It's within safety parameters." It absolutely wasn't, but he didn't need to know that. The Drillmaster's mandibles spread in what might have been amusement. "Proceed." Maya took a breath and initiated the transfer. Pain exploded through her chest as the stored bioelectric energy drained from her augmentation into the weapon. Her vision blurred. Her knees threatened to buckle. Every nerve in her body screamed. The rifle's power indicator climbed, 20%, 40%, 60%. Around her, the training ground had gone silent. 80%, 90%. Her pulse hammered irregularly, the augmentation struggling to maintain normal function while being systematically depleted. Medical alarms shrieked on her wrist display. 100%. Maya disconnected with shaking hands and raised the fully charged rifle. She sighted downrange and fired. The plasma bolt streaked through the air and vaporized the target in a shower of molten metal. She swayed but didn't fall. Kethros stepped forward, all four eyes studying her with an intensity that made her spine straighten despite the exhaustion. He reached out one massive claw and tapped her chest right over her heart. "Humans," he said, his translator carrying a note of something that might have been respect, "are either the bravest species in the galaxy or the most foolish. I have not yet determined which. Why not both, sir?" Maya managed through gritted teeth. A sound erupted from the Drillmaster's thorax, alien laughter. It spread through the assembled recruits, genuine this time, without mockery. The Thundar warrior clapped her on the shoulder hard enough to nearly knock her over. The six offered a nod of acknowledgement. Kethros raised his voice. "Let this be a lesson. The weapon does not make the warrior. Adaptation, innovation, and the refusal to accept defeat. These make a warrior. The human has demonstrated all three." He fixed Maya with his gaze. "Report to Medical Corporal. Then to my office. If you survive your own stupidity, we have much to discuss about your future in special operations." As Maya stumbled toward the medical bay, her heart gradually returning to normal rhythm, she heard one of the 6 recruits murmur to another, "Did she really just power a plasma rifle with her pulse?" "She did," came the response. "Humans. Absolutely insane," Maya smiled. In a galaxy that measured worth by strength and size, sometimes crazy was exactly the edge humanity needed. She'd passed the test. More than that, she'd proven something every human knew, but the galaxy was only beginning to learn. When you back a human into a corner, when you take away their options and tell them it's impossible, that's when they become truly dangerous. Not because they were the strongest, but because they refused to stop trying.